9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we're live. Oh, I'm choking. I don't know what to say. Are we live?
Oh gosh. Oh geez.
I'm just kidding. Hey guys, welcome to Stadium Connect North. I am your co-host today, NinjaGuy X, aka Plop, as Vivi would say. But it's not Plop, it's PLA, Plop. And with me, I have my other co-host, John Scar.
How you doing, everybody? Hey, how you doing?
Good. So today we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I remember saying last stream that it was going to be a lot less long than last time, but I might have lied because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So so this time around we're turning things up. So this time I'm going to be the main host of the show, and I'll be talking a lot, and then Johns will be doing the other things at later in the stream. So right now, what we would like to do is just talk about what we've been doing during the week. So we'll start with John here. So John, what have you been playing? What have you been doing this week?
Oh boy. Well, this week, Wavetale. I've been playing Wavetale. That was a surprise. I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later. A surprise released on Wednesday there, and I've just I've been in love with the game here. I'm almost done with it now, and just been playing that. Streamed a couple of hours of Wavetale, and I've also been playing some Battlefield on Xbox as well, the new Battlefield and Call of Duty, and just a little bit of here and there and everything in between.
Nice. About me, it's pretty much the same thing. I've played some Wavetale also. Such a great game. Extremist says that it's so fun, so I agree. It's something that we'll talk about it a little bit more later. We have a lot of excitement for it. Other than that, this week I've been playing some Destiny. I bought the expansion for all of the DLCs, and I've been getting into that. It's very fun. I even had a special guest on yesterday.
Yes,
Roberto Fanti. Not a lot of people know him, but he's part of Stadiaverse.it. And he's pretty active as as someone in the background in the community. So I really enjoy Roberto. So that was fun. Other than that, I haven't been playing anything other than Stadia this week, actually, which is surprising. I've been playing actually a little bit of Genshin Impact. But didn't have a chance to play much. It was mostly Stadia this week. So before we continue, I would like to just say hello to everyone that's in the chat right now. We've got The Extremist, we got Geek the Sneak, Exception, Miss T22, Zarina. We have, who else? Amine Ashimi. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. Danny Gallagher. We got John Force Cars. Wow, man.
Wow,
such an honor for you to be here. Thank you.
Yep.
We got PyCon Fusion, a very good supporter from John. Metal Wolf, the worst supporter from John.
He says he'll never forget us here. He said he'll never forgive us that we are a few minutes late starting. So, but you know what? Before we go any further here, I just want to mention the bot will be advertising, and I don't see that it has gone through yet, but we're going to be giving away Kaze and the Wild Mass on Stadia to one lucky person here during the show in the chat. And all you have to do to enter is type in !raffle, hit enter, and then you'll hear back a confirmation from the bot that you've entered into the raffle. And we'll pull that winner here towards the end of the show, but you must be present to claim your prize. So when we choose a winner and we call out the name, we'll give people, a fair amount of time, 30 to 60 seconds to respond. And if there's no response, then we'll go ahead and pick somebody else.
Perfect. So Kaze is one of my favorite games on Stadia. So good luck to the lucky winner, and have fun with that. So we got, I'm just going to say a few more names. We got Javer, Squid, Geek the Sneak, and yeah, we can continue on with the show. I don't have any more name before that because I only see the names right when the stream has started.
Yeah.
So let's get on with the show, guys. We've got a lot of news to cover. So I'm
Mhm.
going to let John make me share my screen here. And
Oh.
we'll start with that. As you can see, many tabs. We got lots of stuff to talk about. The first thing, of course, the most important thing is this week on Stadia. So as Google mentioned, Google Stadia, we're now getting a this week's on Stadia every 2 weeks. So last week we didn't get one, but this week we just got everything covered up from the last 2 weeks, basically. So we're going to start here, and I think we might be talking about that a little bit here. So we've got a surprise drop, John, called
Yes.
Wavetale. And it was a very nice surprise. I was not expecting that. How about you, John?
Yeah. I didn't expect it at all. And actually, you know what? So, in Discord, on Gaming Scarmy Discord, a little plug here. On Wednesday, right before 3 o'clock Eastern, as we was in the chat and said, oh, that there's going to be an event happening and Thunderful Games, and I said, oh crap, I forgot about that. He posted the link. Sure enough, what's the first thing? We see Mark Hamill on the screen there, and bam, they're announcing Wavetale for Stadia, and everyone was just like, holy crap, going crazy
Yeah.
and stuff like that in the chat. And it's great. I mean, I know some people don't like having like surprises like that, but I think if there's a mixture of knowing what's coming and then some surprises like this, it's great because I didn't even expect this at all. Like a total
Yeah.
shock.
There's different kinds of surprises, right? And this one, I think they nailed it. They nailed it because we didn't know much about it, and it's just
Mhm.
bang dropped, So it was pretty cool. So actually, I'm not sure what's the story behind this game. So before it was announced, was there any tease about this game or anything?
Now, to be honest, myself, I didn't know anything about this at all. I don't
Yeah.
know if they did mention it before. I mean, they could have, and I forgot,
Mhm.
but I knew absolutely nothing about the game at all. And I just, from the 4 or 5 hours that I've played so far, I love like the characters in it, grandma in it, who's just
Yeah.
she takes no crap, gives you attitude, but is also soft and kind at the same time. And
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil the story because that's some of the the best things about it. But I just like what I'm enjoying about it so far is like the gameplay mechanics, like your grapple shot as well.
Mm.
You're able to. It's almost like Spider-Man if you think about it by using that grapple shot. It's like you're able to go up high places when you're out on the water. There's different islands and structures and things like that you can whiz through and collect the we'll just say coins, collect the coins, and it's really fun, and I really do enjoy it. And it's awesome that they brought it Stadia Pro, right? Like bam, day one,
Exactly.
there it is, Stadia Pro.
Everybody can play it. Everybody who has Pro can just go ahead
Hmm.
and go claim it right away. It's right there. And
Yeah.
for me, so as you might know, John, I'm a big fan of artistic visual games like the
Yes.
Falconeer and Pixel Junk
Yes.
Raiders. So as soon as I saw the trailer for this game, I was like, oh man, I gotta try it.
Hmm.
And it kind of blew me away. This is really my type of game. The music is so good. Even the composer today put a tweet in with one of the song, which is like 7 minutes, and it's beautiful, such a beautiful soundtrack, very artistic. And when I watched the first cutscene, I know people were like, "Oh, the grandma, she's so annoying," but to me, it's different because to me, what I see was character. Like I was seeing
Yes.
like very different characters, and I could already see that the story was going to be very character focused because of this, right? They all have their
Yep.
personality, and yeah,
Hmm.
I'm only like 1 hour and a half in the story right now, but
Hmm.
so far I'm really enjoying it, and I do plan on finishing it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you touch upon a great point there. The characters, they're so distinct and different, and it makes the game stand out. Not only, the gameplay mechanics that are in the game where you're basically like walking, running, surfing on top of water, but also those characters, like you said, like people think, oh, cranky and stuff, but that's that charm that she has. And as you go
Mhm.
through the game, again, I'm not going to say anything for those that haven't made it further. Things open up, and you kind of like start to like associate with the grandma and also Siggy and things like that, and it's great. And I totally love it. And even if it wasn't a Stadia Pro game, I'm pretty sure before I claimed it, I saw it's only like I think $30 Canadian is what it
Mm.
is. I think. So it's not that expensive either. It's definitely priced right. And
Mhm.
again, Stadia Pro. So there you go.
Yep. So John, would you like this to happen? A few times a year with Stadia. Do you like when they do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I love the surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind every once in a while. 3 or 4 times, maybe, every 3 months or whatever or so. I mean, not specific pattern, but,
Hmm.
a handful of games like that, 5 or 6 games a year that's just totally out of the blue, and you're just, and just shocked, and I
Yeah.
I love that. I love to be surprised and things like that, but I also do like to know sometimes, what's coming out in the next couple of months, so an even balance, I think, with that. If we know what's coming, but also there'll be some surprises as well with no indication at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that might be a subject that we can touch on later during the community chat in our show, basically, because we have some stuff that we want to talk about later
Mm,
on. So yeah,
yeah.
so we'll continue on here. So we have Wavetale, and then we've just heard that Just Dance 2022 just came out on Stadia. So that's one of the release that Maurice like. I think it's one of his favorite game. Maurice Show, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, Maurice Show. Oh, très bien,
But
très bien.
yeah, and so he likes this game. He's watched the trailer, and he's very happy with the songs. There's some very good popular releases on there that came out
Mhm.
recently. Some pop songs. So it's going to be very fun.
I hope hopefully soon I can maybe talk to Maurice and maybe see what maybe his favorite songs might be or what
Yeah,
he's looking forward to.
he's very shy, so maybe we'll have to convince him. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
So other than that, we've got the Elder Scroll Online here. Actually, I'm not aware of what's happening with Elder Scroll, so I'm just going to read here. In this in-depth introductory video, you can discover that what kind of gameplay and adventure awaits you in the Elder Scroll Online, including breakdowns on character creation and progression, exploration, PvP, group activity, crafting, combat, and much more. With almost everything you need to know, get started or return to the world of Tamriel during the Second Era. Your adventure begins. So, John, have you had a chance to look into this?
Oh, okay. Wow.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It does. That's Elder Scrolls it's one of the games that I've been meaning to get into, but I know it's like you have to be heavily invested in it. Like it's like all encompassing. So I don't know. There'll be a time when we'll grab someone who's an expert at the game, right, to help
Yeah.
hold my hand and guide me along the way. That's like I watched some of your Destiny 2 stream as well, and it's again Destiny 2. I've played it before, but I get to a certain point where I was like, okay, well, what do I do next? Like,
It's
there's so much content and things to do. Like, I just get lost, and then I
it,
just like, forget it.
it's very overwhelming. So, the Elder Scroll Online, I have the game, I bought it, and I'm the
Mhm,
same. I didn't get a chance because you have to like get your mind ready because it's such a big adventure, right? So I
mhm,
haven't had a chance to start it yet either. Maybe
mhm.
someday we'll start it together and maybe
Sure. Yeah.
get crazy
Sure.
into it.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty long video here. But it seems pretty cool. It's like an introduction video to Elder Scroll Online. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Johnny Robot in the chat saying, "Be careful playing Elder Scrolls Online; it'll hook you." And then there's withdrawal. So
withdrawal.
yeah.
I
So
gotta
so you've
play.
got to be Yeah, you got to be prepared to put some time and hours into the game. But yeah, maybe we'll get to a point sometime. Maybe in the new year. That's something that we can play together, stream, and have fun,
Yeah,
and explore
maybe
together.
do some videos. Yeah, some kind of first look. Just a few videos just to show
Hmm.
people what it
Hmm.
is. So I'm just gonna skip the deals, the sales. There's some indie sales, but we'll go right on it after this post here.
Hmm.
So we also got an introduction to the Explore feed. So now the Explore feed is on the website of Stadia. So you can just go on stadia.google.com and you can find the Explore feed there. Actually, let me go on there right now.
Yeah.
So the Explore feed is basically just like a social feed that you can use to see what others has been playing, and you can post pictures and videos of stuff. And it's very interesting. If you're bored, you can just go on there, just start scrolling and see what people are playing. Like Valhalla, Zolo. I'm not going to go too much on it because if you want to have a look, John Scar during the first episode has talked a little bit about it already. So yeah, you can go if you want to play this. You can just click on the three dots and play the game.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you guys haven't been looking into the Explore, it's right there on the website. It's on the phone. It's pretty much everywhere now, except of like the Chromecast and places like that. But maybe it'll come eventually.
Yeah.
Next up, so we got some deals going on, John, right now.
Yeah.
So we've got Crystal, which is $42.49.
So these are
Crystal,
all just for people. Sorry, don't mean to cut you off here. Just for people that are looking that are maybe in the U.S. or other countries around the world. This is in Canadian prices, but Pierre here or Plop.
yeah,
PLA.
let me change that.
He's on StadiaHunters.com here and under sales, and you could change the currencies there as well. So just because we're in Canada, so these are our normal prices here, we're looking at them through Canadian prices here.
Exactly. So Crystal is a cool RPG if you haven't seen it, and it's very artistic. It's very craft, like the visuals are very poppy. It's very
Hmm.
animated. Very cool game. We've got Reigns, which is already the cheapest game in the library, and now they got it even cheaper at $2, which is
Wow.
crazy. Reign is it started as a mobile game, but now
Hmm.
it's on Stadia, and it's pretty quick. If you just want to pop in a game and play it, it's like that. We've got Republic at $11.99. I could, I mean, I love games, and I research a lot of game, and I could go on with every game, but I'm just gonna
Hmm.
tell the deal here. We've got Republic. We've got Dark Side Detective at $16.19. Nanotale, which is a typing
Yep.
game. Serious
Yep.
Sam 4, which is from one of my favorite publisher, Devolver
Hmm.
Digital.
Hmm.
Jotun Valhalla edition. I'm curious about this game. I haven't tried it yet, but it's so cheap. I might go ahead and
Yeah.
jump on it. Serious Sam
Check it out.
Collection, again, the same thing. Darkwood, which
Right.
John has a 1 hour playthrough of this game, which is pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
pretty creepy, isn't it?
yeah. Hello Engineer, which came out of the beta pretty recently, which is at
Hmm.
$17.49. Rock of Age 3, which is one of Jack the Slip's son favorite game, which is at $9.99.
Wow.
Spiritfarer, which is a very emotional game. At,
Yes. Sorry.
yeah,
I was
no,
waiting for
no,
you. I'm trying not to cut you off here. I
that's fine.
apologize here. That's another great game. It's a great indie game here where you really wouldn't think that it's going to be awesome, but just like you said, it's that story that goes in there and it just grabs you. And okay, I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, it's hard. I know it's hard. I want to talk more about this game, but it's like there's so
Yeah.
many. Murder by
Yep.
Numbers, which is I think it's it's a mystery game. It's a detective game, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool. I like the music.
I played it and streamed it, and it's got like puzzles in there. It's not for me. I'm like honest 100% with that. I
Nice.
struggled to get through the hour stream of it, and I was just like, I haven't played it since. So
That's crazy. We've got
yeah.
Tohu, and you know what? This is one of the game that I don't know much about it, but it's
No.
1339.
Hmm.
Sundered Eldritch Edition, which I find is the same category as Jotun or Unto the End. Is the same type of game, which is pretty cool. Legend of Keepers, which is RPG at $14.94. Merrick's Market, which is a fairly new game and similar
Yeah.
to Overcooked, if you like that kind of game, which is $19.99. The Dark Side Detective, so you've got the first and the second game. So if you really like the first game, you can go ahead and buy the two games. We got Unto the End, which is $17.39, and will potentially go on Pro next month on the 17th of December or something like that. So I would advise maybe not purchase it if maybe wait until after December just to make sure. Just Shapes and Beats at $16.09. Lost Words, which is another typing game at $11.99. Hotline Miami, once again from one of my favorite publisher, Devolver Digital, $4.99 and $3.74 for the first game. Ari and the Secret of Season, $12.99, which is similar to Zelda, a more modern Zelda era. We got Grime, which is a newish game at $31.49, but you can get for free on Pro if you're on Pro. It came from Space and Eater of Brains, $7.99, and we're expecting the sequel pretty soon. 100 Days, which is currently on Pro for $26.24. Enter the Gungeon, Figment, Pikuniku, Epistory, and Dead by Daylight. So many deals.
Yeah, lots of. I believe the blog says it's like the indie game deals for this week or for this period as well. A lot of great impulse buy games there, like that are they're so well priced that you could just pick it up, and even if you don't like it, you really don't feel like you're out of that much. But you know what? Also, too, it still applies. You still get 2 hours, right? With Stadia, you get up to 2 hours to play the game, and if you don't like it, you can just get it refunded.
Yep, and I'm gonna call that a feature because I have actually been doing that. I've been like, oh, I'm gonna try this game, and I know that I have this feature if I don't like it. So I did play a few games, asked for a refund, and no question asked. They just gave me my refund, and that was it. So very useful.
Yeah.
I'm most likely going to buy Serious Sam Collection from this deal because this is a game I've been wanting to play for a while.
Yep. Yeah, Serious Sam, awesome. Just the parody off of Doom. So
I love it.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got InLead here talking about the programs that we have at the moment, and I'm going to let John talk about this.
Yeah, so as you can see here with Wavetale, there's now 40 pro games that are currently available and claimable on Stadia Pro. And that's the highest it's ever been. If you click on dashboard there for me.
Oops.
Do you see the link there where it says dashboard?
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got it here actually.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the dashboard monitor. So here's the Stadia Pro game monitor. And if you go up at the top there, you can see game availability as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at all the different games that are available. Look, so if you see at the bottom graph there, total available games, 40 is the highest it's ever been. There have been, I believe, according to InLead there's been 112 pro games since November 19th of 2019. So since launch, there's been 112 games. So currently right now, if you sign up for Stadia Pro, you've got 40 games that you can play. And once you claim them, they're yours. If you drop the Stadia Pro subscription, you lose access to them, of course. But once you resubscribe, you get right back on there. So it's pretty awesome.
That's crazy. So the first game on there that we still have, the earliest one is Creta, and then Hitman. It's cool that we can see all this information here. It's like I'm pretty sure Jack the Slip is probably a big fan of this this chart here. I'm assuming.
Yeah. InLead has the Stadia Pro game monitor is just like amazing. You could just spend hours looking at it, all the different ways that you can look at the data and the game, the game library subscription. There you go, 112 since start. Look at this, like
Metascore. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like he's really put a lot of hard work into the site. So definitely awesome.
And some good news lately. So Chris, I think from Stadia Enhance, has incorporated InLead's website in his Stadia Enhance. So that was very cool.
Yep.
Oops, I don't know what happened there, but I just clicked on InLead's. All right. So next up, we have something pretty cool that we only noticed today, and shout out to MM2K because he's the one who took uh, this news out in English because we got Nohin here, who I'm not aware who he is, but
Yeah.
so what's happening here is that they've noticed that we can now do direct stream at 1440p, which is pretty cool. And let me explain to you guys what this means. So direct stream is so if you don't have a streaming computer or something like that, what Google Stadia allows you to do is do a stream using Stadia itself. So they take the server inside their system and do the stream. So let's say I would click and I would start Wavetale here for example. I could just click here, live stream, and start my stream directly from here. And it doesn't take any effort from my PC to do the stream, which is very cool. And
Yeah.
what's happening is that the maximum amount of quality that you could put there was 1080 at 60 frame per second. But now what MM2K has confirmed, it's not confirmed, sorry. So it's not confirmed. We haven't heard it from Stadia yet, but it looks like we can do at 1440p right now.
Well, if you go ahead and click on the user's tweet there.
Okay.
Yep. And then if you scroll down and look, you can see he's got a link to one of his stream.
Oh, you can go into the stream. Okay.
Yeah, you could go on the stream, and I saw a few other people. So the games that do support it have that option there. Yeah, if you go check the resolution here. Yep, and there you
Wow.
go.
Okay.
1440p 60.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit longer to load there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the quality definitely in there.
Yeah.
That's
And I
very
see
cool.
Metal Wolf here in the chat mentioned they need to add a way to capture a webcam
Yes.
and add it to the stream too. So that would be cool, really, because then I mean you could do right from the Stadia servers, like you mentioned. You don't need to have a beefy computer to do your streaming. It's directly from their server, and you would just need to have your webcam and then the overlay. That would be awesome. So hopefully that's something that they're working on, or you know what, it's always good. You can always suggest it with the feedback option
Mhm.
in the Stadia app as well. Yeah.
It's very promising because I think the webcam feature is what people wants the most right now for the stream, and it's promising because you can see that they're still supporting it, right? They're still adding extra stuff on it. So now that we
Hmm.
see that, it's quite possible, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So next up here, so we got a post here from Stadia Source saying that title update 1.4 for Assassin's Creed Valhalla will arrive tomorrow. Okay, well that was, that was on the 8th. So we now have a update 1.4.0 in Valhalla, and it includes the all new tombs of the Fallen content. Now, I'm not too familiar with Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But this seems promising. There's a lot of extra stuff here. We've got more puzzles, uh, and then we're getting some stuff in the future also. The Oscoria Festival. We've got some new skills, game improvement, which I don't mind at all. Don't mind if I do. We've got some bug fix, gameplay, some address gameplay issues. Uh, you know, so it's very nice to see Ubisoft as usual, very supporting Stadia a lot. Usually their patches come at the same time as the consoles, and it's very cool. No update required as usual, and yeah, that's pretty much it for
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then, crap, I just close that. My mistake. But what it is the let me check my notes here actually. Let me not share my screen. For a
Soul
sec.
Passage from Stadia Source, the interview.
That's
I
the
believe
thing.
that's. Yep,
It
that's
is.
the one there. Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah. So while you're looking for it, the Soul Passage, the developer went on to Twitter. What was it? I think it was last week or something like that, and they announced that it's a Metroidvania type game and that it's coming out for Xbox, PlayStation, and even Atari VCS. And the developer's like, well, what about Google? Is there any interest for Stadia? And of course, Stadia community picked up on that, and we went to town as we normally do. And sure enough, they saw the outreach and the positivity, and enthusiasm from the community, and it's going to be added to their list to come out day and date as well. A Kickstarter's going to be starting in the new year as well to help fund it.
Exactly. So they're a team of 3 developers, and one day on Twitter they randomly said, "Oh yeah, we're releasing on every platform, but what do you think of Stadia?" And on the Twitter it just bursted out, like everybody was interested in getting in on Stadia, and they saw that, and they were really overwhelmed by the by this post, and even from today. They just keep talking about Stadia, which is kind of cool. They just say like, "Oh yeah, we're still, we're very excited for Stadia," and they're very optimistic about releasing their game on Stadia. And it looks like a very cool game. It's very similar to Hollow Knight from what I've seen from the trailers and stuff. And we would need these kind of games in here. We have Grime, which is kind of similar, but it's always welcoming to see some games. And as you can see on Stadia Source, we've got an interview that was done. So go ahead and read that if you are interested in these type of games. It's very interesting what they talk about. And Stadia Source is good at asking the right questions. I find they always ask stuff about Stadia, like what is the main reason you would look to bring Soul Passage to Stadia, and things like that. Stadia Source, Brian from the Nerf Report has some awesome interviews too. And yeah, definitely have a look.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Next up, we have Rainbow Six Siege. So we have a new season, if I'm not mistaken. So it says High Caliber Operator and Map Guide. So I didn't have a chance to look much into it, but it looks like it's a free update, and they're getting a few things in there. So let's just have a look at the
Let's
trailer.
check it out here.
Yeah, a little bit. And so Rainbow Six Siege has had a lot of reception, and like there's a lot of streamers streaming it now, and it's a frustrating game for sure, but people are eating it, and it's very cool.
I had never, like, since it came out in late June, either it was late June or early July on Stadia, I had played it a little bit before, but then once it came out in June, I was like, oh, I'll give it a try again. And although I'm not like great at it, it's fun too. Like, I love to play it as well, even if I get my butt kicked. I like the mechanic of being able to the gun, like slanting your gun to the left or the right, or being able to see around the corners. And I know that, like you mentioned, the community has picked up on this big time. We had that Stadia community event hosted by Grace and the people over at Stadia as well. That was like freaking fun, like awesome. Had a blast with that. And it's just, I see like every day constantly there's at least one or two, if not more, like maybe even like a handful of people that are streaming this, having fun. SPG, I know Unitrix is always there, Real Certified Doctor, like lots of people that are constantly playing it.
I'm gonna say, guys, if you get frustrated by Rainbow Six, it's a lot more fun when you play with friends and with other streamers. So if you ever get a chance to jump into a stream with someone, go ahead and play it. It's a lot more fun because there's not trolls or there's not people like yelling at you or anything. It's just plain fun, and we laugh whenever we get killed and stuff. So I really advise that. And it's funny because Real Certified Doctor is very good at the game. He's like an expert, and people thinks that he's cheating, and when they say that, he's like, well, I'm playing on Stadia, so that's not possible. And they're just like, what are you talking about? So that's what's fun about it. People don't still have a hard time to believe that Stadia is very responsive, and it helps a lot by doing that.
So we have a question. Metal Wolf is saying, does Rainbow Six Siege have Stream Connect or Crowd Play or any of those features? And it doesn't.
Not at the moment.
No, not at the moment. It does not. But great ideas for them maybe to add in the future there for Ubisoft.
For sure, they know how to do it, right? They have a lot of game with Stream Connect at the moment, so it could be possible in the long run for sure.
Yep.
All right, so this is as John would say, this is some pretty juicy news. So here looks like 9 to 5 Google here they say that looks like Stadia version 3.41 hints at Dolby Digital, Dolby surround sound coming to Chromecast. So we do have surround sound 5.1 already, I think, on Stadia, but this is a different type of, a way to encrypt surround sound in a way. And they've started to see some hints that we might be getting it, sooner or later, just because on the app they're seeing some stuff like enable Chromecast Dolby surround sound options and stuff like that. So guys, this doesn't mean that we didn't have surround sound until today. We have surround sound. It's just a different way to decrypt the sound out of here. And looks like, from what I've heard, I'm no tech expert, but I've heard that decrypting Dolby surround sound is a little bit more complicated and requires a lot more essence anyway to decrypt it. So this is why it hasn't been happening yet, and I don't think any cloud gaming platform is having that right now. So it's a very promising feature. I'm personally not going to use it because I don't have any surround sound. But what about you, John? Do you have some good headphones?
No, I do have some good headphones and stuff that I use, but nothing like, I don't really think that would take advantage of it. I see exception here mentioned that lots of receivers don't accept PCM and only Dolby Digital.
Oh, no way.
So I guess it's good. It's just another feature to have. For those that use
expanding, right? Because it's like people who doesn't have a controller now, they have their phone that they can use to connect their controller. And now people that doesn't have the surround sound supported, they might have the Dolby Digital eventually in there. So very promising. We'll see if Stadia can officially announce it at some point, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got 2 new games that's been rated for Stadia on ESRB. And thank you to John Carr from Chronicles of Stadia, which has a pretty good website here. John Carr is pretty good at being the first to figure out these ESRB ratings. So you guys keep in touch with his website. It's really good. I really encourage it. I think he has like under 20 subscribers on his YouTube channel, which is Chronicles of John Carr. So I really encourage you guys to have a look. He's a really cool guy, man. Like he has some cool playthrough and stuff like that. But anyway, it's not about that. It's about the news that he has right now. So we might be getting Wreckfest, according to the ESBR. And from what I've heard, Wreckfest is also planning to have a release on Switch in December, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we'll be seeing it around the same time, maybe not. We can't be 100% sure when they're rated, but it is a step forward, and we might be seeing it sometime soon. Have you ever had a chance to play Wreckfest, John?
No, I haven't played Wreckfest, but I've looked at the trailer, and it's kind of like the old game on PlayStation, Destruction Derby, where you just go around smashing up other cars, get points and things like that for it. So I'm looking forward to it. And see exception with another comment here in the chat. John Carr, no relation. No, no, it's John Carr, which does sound like John Scar, right? Is no relation whatsoever.
That's so funny. What I like when I do the news is that you have the time, to look at the chat and figure that out. So I love it. And another one that was rated is Assassin's Creed Liberation HD. So I remember playing that a long time ago on the Vita. And it was such a good game. I really can't wait for it to go on Stadia. So if it does, because it's been rated, but actually, did Stadia announce that when there's a big blog when they announce a full amount of games coming to Stadia
from Ubisoft? Yeah, that was back in June, I believe. I don't recall that Assassin's Creed Liberation, if it was on that or not.
It's been a while.
I don't remember. Yeah.
So we might be getting it sometime soon, which would be pretty cool. And let's cross our finger, because this is a really good game. It released at the same time as Assassin's Creed 3 back in the day. And honestly, myself, I like Assassin's Creed Liberation more than 3 because it's based on Louisiana. And yeah, I just like the atmosphere, the environment, and the story that they have. How about you, John? Did you play Liberation?
Oh boy, I because there's so many games that I playing for review and stuff like that that it's sometimes I forget. I think so. I think I did play it. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but and I'm sure when it does come out, it'll be part of Ubisoft Plus and
Mhm.
probably reasonably priced as well because I do realize it's not the latest and greatest game. So
Mhm.
I'll pick it up, give it a try, and see how it is.
Exactly. So yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 was between Assassin's Creed 2, which was an excellent game, and Black Flag, which is awesome pirate. So the third one, I had a hard time getting into it for some reason, but Liberation kept my attention. It's really good.
I just
All
want to
right.
give a shout out here.
Oh.
Gamer Graham with a super chat of $50. Holy crap. Thank you so much. That will, as always, with all of the donations that receive, go right back into the channel here and helps pay for, restream, the bots, and all that good stuff. Awesome. Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Graham. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it, and yeah, it's gonna help to improve what we're working on.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Definitely.
so yeah, let's cross our fingers for Wreckfest and Assassin's Creed Liberation HD. Next up, we have Far Cry 6 Voss Insanity DLC. Now, I know I've brought up IGN there. It was a quick brought up. We know that IGN has been criticizing Stadia once in a while, but let's just put that on the side for now. I've brought this up because they do say Stadia on their thingy. Just a sec.
Yep.
Stadia, and they don't say anything bad about it. So this is why I brought up this here. So it looks like we're getting a season pass from Far Cry 6, and we're getting Voss, which is one of my favorite enemy from the Far Cry series. How old are you? I'm 99 years old. There you go. Perfect. Uh,
A
we're
Switch
getting a trailer.
advertisement.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But yeah, anyway, so it's good. We're starting to see some future updates from Far Cry 6, which just came out. Far Cry 6 has been having a good reception. People has really like the game, and I feel
Yeah.
like people will be playing this. Like I mentioned, like I mentioned with Rainbow Six Siege, lots of people have been streaming Far Cry 6 also. It has online co-op. It has the Stream Connect feature, so very useful when we were playing with a team because you can actually see what they're doing, and strategize with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, did you see the news, John? Did you see
Yeah, I saw
more
this
interesting one?
news
Yeah.
here for it, and Exception makes a good comment here in the chat. Here it says, I think that the Vaz DLC got released early on Stadia by mistake. So I do recall some people mentioning it and playing it, and there's actually gameplay footage. But I think what Ubisoft did is that they're saying like it's officially coming on November the 16th. So
That's good
yeah,
to know.
it's still there. Yeah, but it's they've a lot of great plans that they have in store for Far Cry 6 post content DLC and add-ons and things like that. So I think Far Cry 6 will see it get quite a few updates and everything for quite a while here.
Yeah, it looks like it, and I think that's what Ubisoft is trying to do lately. They're trying to extend their game as much as they can, and I think this is mostly because of their Ubisoft Plus
Mhm.
thing. They want, because you're paying every month, they want to try to make their game last longer because of that, and you can see that with Riders Republic because it has so
Yes.
much content. It's just crazy, so looking forward to see what they bring up with the future with that game too.
Yeah, definitely.
So John, I'm gonna let you talk about this one here. Looks like we've got a new DLC for a certain Stadia
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, Orcs Must Die 3. We've got the DLC for that. Let me bring it up over here on my end as
Okay,
well.
so it's
Um,
called Cold as Ice Expansion.
yeah, the cold is eyes expansion, and it's, as you can see there, it's reasonably priced well, $8.99 Canadian. You get 3 new scenarios in the icy environments, in the campaign, endless and scramble modes, a new cyclopean race, shaman, a mesmerizer, medium and heavy. They got flamethrower, trinket, cyclopean glaze, and a molten gold trap. So it's just more content coming out for Orcs Must Die. Again, this is another fun game too to play. It supports Stream Connect, and it's a great game to play with somebody else as well. Where you got all these orcs and monsters coming at you, and you basically have to defend and use these booby traps and weapons and whatever is at your disposal to keep them away. So it's great to see still supporting this game. It came out first on Stadia, was funded by Google, and then just recently is now came out on other platforms as well. But like I said, great to see more content still coming from the developers.
I feel like Orc Must Die is the game you have to try if you're on Stadia, because I don't know, I feel like it has an history to Stadia, because it was one of the first exclusive game to the platform, right? So it's a very cool game to give a try, at least for a few minutes.
Yeah, Rouster in the chat saying played it last night, could only get to wave 4 in the first additional level. So looks like it's going to put up a little bit of a challenge for you there. So
it's a hard game. I'm really bad at tower defense games, and but I never had a co-op partner, so that would probably help a lot.
Yep, definitely.
So now we have Jack the Slip. Of course, Jack is a big statistic nerd, and he really likes, to show these lines growing in Stadia. So what he's saying right now is, FYI, Dirt 5's leaderboard on Stadia is at 29,400 and is growing at over 1,000 names a day. It is looking a bit like SE4 last year. I'm not sure what is SE4. I can't think. Oh, I think you're on mute. Oh, wait.
No, you're not. No, yeah. No, I'm trying to remember what he's talking about. But no, it's just good to see that Dirt became a Stadia Pro game this month, and you can already see here's the benefits of it. Thousands of people are playing it day after day, as well. So that's great. More people to play with online.
You know what? When I was on Stadia, I was wondering how many people were playing certain games, right? And there's a Sniper Elite 4. Yeah, that's a good one. And the thing is, for me, in my mind, I was like, there's probably not a lot of players still active or whatever. But what Jack does is showing us that there's actually a lot of people playing, and it's very important that he does that, because just to make me understand that there's a lot of active people playing Stadia still. There are dozens of us. Oh my gosh. Yeah. As usual.
Tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right,
that's great to see. And like Jack said, he's going to be tracking that as well. So it'll be great to see how that grows in the coming months.
Yep. He has the number show happening on Stadia Dosage News in 2 days. So we'll probably be talking about that. So next up we have Rainbow Six Extraction, and I know that John was very excited about this news. I saw it in the on Stadia. Actually, we're pretty excited about Wavetale also. Now that I remember, but John, I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
Sure. So Rainbow Six Extraction, we know that it got delayed. I think it was supposed to come out November this year. It's got delayed. Now it's January 20th, I believe, is the launch date. And even better, it is now $39.99 US, $49.99 Canadian. So it's not the full priced either $59.99 US or $79.99 Canadian. And you get on Xbox, PlayStation, and Stadia, you get buddy passes. I'm not sure 100% if it's PC as well. It could be PC. I'd have to double check that. But you get buddy passes. And the buddy passes, you get 2 buddy passes. You could give them to friends who don't own the game, and they can play along. They can play the game, play along with you, hopefully, right? Since you're buddies, for 2 weeks, 14 days, absolutely free. And if they do end up buying the game, all their progress and stats and all that good stuff transfers right over. So I mean, that's it. What's a better way to be able to get more people to play the game? Have a fantastic price, so we got that check, and then have buddy passes, so you can give two friends, hey, play with me for a couple of weeks, see if you like it, get hooked, and then that's just more people to play
Yep.
with. I think it's fantastic. I would really love to see more games use this buddy pass
Yeah.
system.
As I mentioned in the first episode, I have a friend who wants to try Stadia, but he's just too lazy. He doesn't want to create an account, and but because of the buddy pass, I think I'm going to be able to convince him, because I'm just going to tell him, hey, we can play this game. You don't have to pay anything, and I just want to play with you. And I think it's going to work. I think I'm going to be able to convince him to play with me, and he'll be able to make his own opinion and see if he actually likes the platform. So it's going to be very fun. Really looking forward to it. I think I'm going to buy it day one, because it's going to be kind of my game to play while I'm waiting for Rainbow Six X Defiant. And so this is a game that I plan on playing a lot for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and co-op here, of course, so that's going to be great. I mean, we already have a fun time with Siege, right? So this is going to be co-op based as well. We'll have story on it, and it just looks great. And it's like, I guess, for whatever reason, they're like, you know what? We're going to make it $49.99, $39.99. I mean, that's awesome too. Very, very, great pricing, value priced.
Exactly. So, guys, we are at the end of the news for today. When I saw the list of news we had, I was like, yeah, this is going to be another huge episode, another huge success. I should probably stay positive, right?
Yeah. And I mean, if you think, so this is just news from last Friday when we did our first episode. Mm-hmm. So, like, a lot of the time you might think, oh, well, nothing really happened this past week. Well, we just went through, and I'm sure there's stuff that we missed that we didn't know. So there's just like almost like an hour's worth of things. And if you really wanted to dig into it, it could probably be 2 hours, honestly. Yeah. So the news is out there.
It's always been like that. There's always been those little bitty news everywhere that we hear about. And that's why I find it very active, every week. There's always something. So on to our next section. So so I'm not sharing my screen now anymore, right? Okay. So we are now to the part where we're doing an interview. So every week we have an interview planned out with someone. We record it beforehand, and then we show it to you guys. This week, so we don't want to just interview content creators. We want to interview everybody in the Stadia community. And today we have a special guest who is just a fan of Stadia. He doesn't do any content. He's just in the background. He talks to us, on Discord, and he's a very interesting fellow, actually. And so today we have Aswi, who we interviewed, and we have a 10-minute interview for you guys. So let me just put that up here. So Aswi is someone that I know from the community. I've actually played some PS4 with him, some Call of Duty. So it was nice talking here.
Yeah, and we just were able to convince him to create a Twitter account as well. So he's like you said, he's very knowledgeable. He loves games, Stadia. He stays out of the limelight and is just a fan. And this is so awesome. I can't wait to see the interview. I haven't saw it either. So so let me know. I'll go ahead and let it roll here.
Yep, we're ready. Hey guys, welcome. I am NinjaGuy X, and today we are doing an interview with a special somebody. With me, I have Mr. Aswi. How are you doing, Aswi?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you. So, Aswi, your full name, how do you spell that? I've never really figured that out.
So, it's pronounced as we thinkest. AZWETHINKIZST. It's based. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty complicated name there.
It's man, I was coming up with I think a PS3, the original PSN account, and there's a song by Incubus called "As We Think We Is." It's a nonsense song, but I thought it just sounded really cool, but it didn't fit, so I had to shorten it.
That's cool. That's cool. I know Incubus, but I listened to a few albums, but never could get into it. But it's cool that you got into that. Maybe you'll be able to convince me one day.
Maybe. We'll see.
But anyway, so yeah, if you don't mind telling us who you are, like how did you get into gaming? What sort of favorite games do you have over the year? And what do you like about Stadia?
Gaming started, man, when I was around 3.
Wow.
My mom was taking care of me. My dad got her, the original Nintendo. I watched her play for a bit, and she tossed me a controller. And what's interesting about it, just the original Super Mario Brothers game. What's interesting about it is that I got to learn to play from her, and then she's supported me on gaming my whole life. But if you have me playing on the original Nintendo or the Super Nintendo, the SNES, I still perform better with the controller upside down than I do with. Yeah, it's a nice bar trick to pull. Somebody or at somebody's house party trick is like, check it, I can do this with the controller upside down.
Wow.
So she gave it to me, but she never corrected me on it. So for the longest time, I was just only could play with the controller upside down on the NES and the SNES. Then this N64 came out, and no chance.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Hey, that is super cool, and I hope that we get to see that someday because, I'm sure it impressed a lot of ladies, right? Yeah. And how did you start getting into Stadia?
So I was keeping an eye on Google, and I saw the presentation, and I was curious about it. I wasn't super excited about it, but I noticed a lot of people were mixed about it. There was people going, "Hey, this looks amazing." Other people were like, "No, it's the end." I remember seeing a few YouTube videos of people, debating the game ownership situation, which has been, argued to death. But I picked it up. I enjoyed it. There was, and still is a smaller library there, but it kind of filled a gap that I didn't know I needed. Again, the convenience of just picking up and playing wherever, and playing larger games. Like I've been a Nintendo gamer for my whole life. The Switch makes a lot of sense. So being able now to play games that even the Switch can't handle is even more impressive.
Out of curiosity, were you into like the Game Boy, DS, 3DS, these types of
Yes.
consoles? So that's what's nice about Stadia, right? It's just that you can play it on the go, play it on your TV, play it anywhere, and it's just to me anyway. It feels like the same kind of convenience as Nintendo has with their consoles and like the way that they release. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
Oh, perfect. What actually something that I noticed. So as I know you because, well, first of all, we've met on John Scar's Discord. Not to shamefully advertise that, but we also started knowing more about each other by playing Call of Duty Vanguard beta. You were wondering if people were wanted to join you, and I decided, might as well. I have the beta. Let's do it. But something interesting is that since I've known you, I haven't really seen you talk much about Stadia, which is interesting. So I'm just wondering, what have you been playing lately on Stadia?
On Stadia, it's funny. I've picked up a bunch of games. Obviously, the game's on Pro, but I've picked up a bunch and slowly working through my backlog. Main games right now are Judgment and the Hitman series. So I picked up Hitman 3 on the sale that it finally had, which was amazing.
Nice.
I haven't started it though because I ended up finishing Hitman 2, which I got on Pro, and then got the expansion pass. And what's his name? Papa Levy or Eli Levi? He's just like, buy everything right now. Everything's on sale. Go buy it. So I bought it. So eventually I'll get to it. But I got sucked into Judgment. I picked that up when it got on the mega sale. And I've always liked the Yakuza series, and I'm hoping to see the rest of it come to Stadia at some point.
I wish so bad. I've only finished the first Yakuza. Yakuza Kimawi, and I started Zero. But they're really long games, right? So I didn't want to get burned out, so I didn't play too much of of Zero. But I agree with you, man. There's so much good games. So, do you find that Judgment is as good as the Yakuza series?
Yes, Judgment plays very close to Yakuza,
Nice.
at least the originals, not the newest one, Like a Dragon, which is they've gone turn-based on that.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Is Judgment the one where you act like as a detective?
Yeah, you're a detective. So some of the missions they'll add a little different to add some color to it. Is some tailing missions, and then you also have some chase missions. So you don't have that as much in the Yakuza. So it adds a nice dynamic, and then you have some deduction to do.
Ah, very cool.
Excuse me.
So yeah, and then Hitman. That's funny that you got influenced by Papa Levy because he's like the Hitman guy, and that's what he do. He just convinced everyone to just go with Hitman. So
It does.
I actually didn't get a chance to play a lot of Hitman. I played a lot of the old ones back in the day on PlayStation 2, so I know that I like them. Now, I have one more question for you. So what would you like to see added or improved on Stadia, out of curiosity?
I think the main thing, I think one of the things I think people need to sort of back off on is the performance. I think performance will come over time. Just need to be patient with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does come down to what everybody else is arguing about is we need more games. And it's not the, we need more games. There's no games on Stadia. I just think the more games we get, the more types of gamers we're going to get on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if, we'll get to that point where, we'll have competitive gaming at that level yet. But that's coming. But the other thing that I sometimes think about too is if everybody plays on the cloud, if you got in a competitive league and everybody's playing in the cloud, then everyone's on the same playing field. No latency. Everyone should have the same latency.
Exactly, and it's funny that you say that because I know some Siege players who went on Stadia and can actually defeat good Siege players on consoles. So, but you're like, if you really want, that like you said, the competition, you need that millisecond more than anything else. So that's nice to hear. So, like out of competition games, what would you like the most to go on Stadia?
On the competition games,
Yeah.
Overwatch 2.
No way, really?
That would be the dream. So that is what got me more into playing some competitive gaming. Like I like Call of Duty, but it is more of a casual experience for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I love playing with you. I love playing with people. But there's, you get home after a busy day, throw on Call of Duty, and you'll be fine. But Overwatch, with my partner and all my friends, we would, especially during the pandemic, it became the game you go on to hang out with your friends and then make strategy on how to do better in the game.
Yeah, I've tried Overwatch a long time ago, but I think it's a game that's better played with friends. But I didn't have anybody to play with, so maybe eventually I'll ask if you want to play with me or something. Do you have it on PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I have it on PlayStation.
Okay, that's
so yeah, no, I'd be down. My
Awesome.
partner plays it. My cousin plays it. When we always like to play with more people. So
cool. As part of competitive game, are you excited for X Defiant to come on Stadia?
Yeah, that was one. Unfortunately, I got invited to the closed test, and that time period was very busy, so I didn't actually get a chance to play it. But I watched some videos, and I am excited to see it. It'll be nice to see that because I think it's a nice mix of taking the Call of Duty with the Rainbow Six Siege and even some of the Overwatch elements.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a game that will be able to play together a lot. I know that we want to play together on some games, so I think that will bring us together for sure. So, Azumi, thank you very much for doing this interview with me. I really appreciate it. This is actually my first interview for the podcast, so thank you for bearing with me. And do you have anything else to say for the show?
Keep calm, keep gaming.
Awesome, I like that. All right, thank you very much, Azumi. Bye.
Wow, that was awesome. That was unique. I don't think I've ever known anybody that played games with their controllers upside down.
Yeah, it's
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Hey, you know what? I lost the video from our next segment. Just give me a sec here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, certainly.
Where did I put that?
Lots of comments here. Andy saying he loves this segment. Also, your cat. She was one of the stars of the interview as well.
Yeah.
That was funny. It's always great to see. And again, big shout out. Thank you, Aswi, for taking that time and speaking with us here. And wow, look forward to playing some games with Aswi in the future. And always great. He's on the Discord, the Four Scars Gaming Discord, and it's always just full of fun, cheerful playfulness. And Zorina here is like, is it me or does Aswi have a great interview voice? And he's very interesting. Good choice for an interviewee.
Nice.
So definitely, sure, that was awesome. And yeah, for those that may have just either joined us or aren't familiar yet with our format, every week we do an interview with someone from the Stadia community, as you mentioned earlier. It's just, to show the diversity of the community, content creators, just fans, people that are like we had last week with Jack, who's heavy into the data and the analytics and things like that. And so we've got quite a big list of people that have said, hey, we'd like to be interviewed. So if we haven't got to you yet, we haven't reached out, don't worry. We'll be reaching out to record probably several interviews here in the next, probably in next week. We'll reach out, and that way we'll have, some ready for the shows here in the future.
And we don't want to do a bunch of interview at the same time either, because then they'd have to wait like 6 weeks before having the the spotlight. So it's better to just do them once in a while.
Yep. So shout out to Death Alive. Thank you so much. The super sticker there. Really appreciate it and your support. So here we go. Here's a comment here. We need more NinjaGuy X segments. So now we've got Pierre, we've got NinjaGuy X, we've got Maurice, now we've got NinjaGuy X. How many more characters do we have, or do you have under your sleeve there for us?
Maybe I'll bring my fiance NinjaGuy X someday.
Oh boy, that's so funny. Okay, so I see you've got a video down here ready to go.
Yeah, so we're going to go on to our next segment, which is Game of the Week.
All righty, here we go.
Mauricio! Some people call me Maurice. Wow! Hello, John. How are you doing?
Bonjour, Maurice. Comment ça va?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. As you can see, I've got full of energy, and I've got something to tell you, John. I've heard that you were unhappy because I wasn't able to play your favorite song on Just Dance, and I'm so sorry about that. But you know what? Let me try to make it up to you, and I'm gonna go ahead and play your favorite song right here, right now, exclusively on Stadium North. Stadium Connect North.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Maurice.
Awesome. So let me just share my screen here, show you some music, and show the people what song we're talking about here. So let me just
let's
go
get
and
this off
connect.
here.
Awesome.
Oh,
Now,
did I cut to you a little too soon, Maurice?
oh no! You're great, John. You're great. You know what? Let me remove my screen again here. Remove source.
Okay.
And let me share with sound. People want to hear this, right?
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
let's go ahead and do that. There you go. All right. So you guys are ready for this? You can join me in dancing if you want. You can go ahead and do the dance. You can sing along. It's a good song. Everybody knows this song. So let's go ahead and do the search here. I bet you guys are pretty curious, right? Oh, it's not F. It's not F. Is it J? No, it's E. And then we're gonna go at it's N. I mean E. And it looks like it's right here. So John, today exclusively on the Stadium Connect North, we're playing Never Gonna Give. Maurice is ready, and he's gonna act as a superhero for everyone here. All right, hey, it's been a working. I think we're gonna make it, man. I think we're gonna get a mega star. What do you think, John? Yeah. Mega star, baby! We got this! Yeah, man, we almost didn't make it, but Because the chat was so active, we did it. With the Arlen scream at the end. Woo! Now that was
Oh
fun.
my gosh, I love that. I was laughing so hard. Oh my gosh. Oh, and just to see the comments from the people in the chat there. Unitrix just comes in and he's like, "What the heck?" And who else did we see here? He's like, "What the hell did I just tune into?" 1030 Media Group, and
Man,
Maurice, you're a mega star. Like everyone loves Maurice, so
I
they're
just went to
never
a
going to give
bathroom
Maurice
break.
up.
I went to a backroom break. What happened while I was missing? Like people are laughing. The chat is going crazy.
Oh
I
my
don't get it.
gosh. Awesome.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, that was fantastic. That just had me rolling on the floor laughing here. So awesome. So
Whew.
awesome. Ooh, I bet you're tired after that.
Well, I am a little sweaty. You know what? I'm going to lower down the heat there. Just give me a sec.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So just a quick reminder here, we're giving away Kaze and the Wild Masks to one lucky person here in the chat to enter !raffle for your chance to win. If I check the bot here, let's see if we can see who we've got. We'll do a quick read off of who is in the raffle to win Kaze. Cult of Stadia, Lord Vivek is there, Homie Drew, Granite T Rock just entered. Oh, we're getting a whole bunch of people entering now. 1030 Media Group, Roberto, Paul, Crow, Francisco, Iwan, PSX Guides, Javier, Geek to Sneak, Miss T22, The Extremist, Sarina, PyCon Fusion Exception. You know what? I will go ahead and before we do the draw, I will read the names again here, which we're going to do the draw at the end of the show here. So if you haven't entered, make sure now's your chance to get in there. You've got, for the rest of the show here to get your chance in. And again, we'll do a final call before we randomly choose somebody here for the raffle. So now we're going to turn over here to a bit of community news. Let me get my screen.
I did my share of speaking, so now it is John's turn.
Yeah.
While I
So
take
now
a breath.
a break, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So we're taking a look here. I know you'd mentioned Stadia Enhanced earlier in the show here. Christopher Clay, the person behind Stadia Enhanced here, reached out to Stadia hunters asking them about integrating it with Stadia Enhanced here. So I know that Christopher has done a lot of work on this plugin for Stadia Enhanced. It's great if you're playing on your PC in the browser. He's implemented a lot of features. So he's got original Penguin Adams database in there as well, with that gives, for those that are interested in finding out the resolution and the frame rate and all that good stuff. So he's reaching out here to Stadia hunters, and we can look here, and Stadia hunters are like, what do you need from my side? If it's just my permission, you have it. So there you go. So here's the community working together to make these features even better. And sure enough, in Stadia Enhanced, going to incorporate Stadia hunters there. So that's great to see. Moving along here, Eli, we mentioned Eli, the Hitman guru. I just remember Eli in the Summer Community Challenge when we had the Hitman, the whole Hitman Challenge week, and it's just Eli
He's intense.
He's intense. He really, 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 really loves Hitman and very knowledgeable about it and fantastic. So if you have at all any interest in Hitman, Eli's your man to go to. He recently just hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to Eli. Thank you so much. I think he's at a party right now, he mentioned.
Yeah.
So he's not here in the chat, but he'll be watching the video on demand. So shout out Eli. Give him a check out here on YouTube, Eli Levy. And he's a fun individual and just so awesome. So congratulations to Eli. And we got another shout out here, Ready Set Stadia. Over 400 subscribers now.
Yep, he has passed the 400th. Yeah, it says
if we
399, but yeah,
404 now.
ever.
So yeah. So congratulations, and shout out to Ready Set Stadia. It's great to see all these content creators growing and finding new fans as well.
You know what? Ready Set Stadia, I've only discovered them recently, and he's very active on Twitter. He has a lot of tweets. He tweets like constantly all the time, and it's very cool. He's a big fan of Stadia, so it's very cool to see that.
Yeah, it certainly is. And then we're going to give a mention here. You touched on it a little bit earlier. Jack, he does a Jack to Slip. We interviewed him last week. He does a monthly show over on Stadia Dosage with MM2K, and it's a stats show. So he goes over data and analysis. They've got giveaways and metrics and things like that to look at. And, he's mentioned here, here's a new metrics to celebrate the Stadia blog post likes over time. So Jack, and I'm going to go over here to his page here. He's got a whole bunch of different metrics, YouTube platforms. So let's see. We can look here, and he's just got like a whole bunch of content creators. Let's look here that we track. We can see up at the top there, Sunny as well. And you could go here and see, look, there's John, Helix Cloud Gaming, Clive. And it's just great to see. There's Meg as well. It's great to see, you could see the growth over time, and just fantastic. And let's see what else he has. Twitter, Facebook, games availability. There's so many different things that he tracks. If you want to know data and look at trends, Jack is your person here to look at and see. It's
very cool. And that show is my favorite show on Stadia Dosage News. It's very interesting to see all those numbers, and I really like it.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sunny in the list, and I just want to say he actually posted something today, not too long ago. He mentioned the great news that he did a CAT scan for his cancer. He's very open about it,
Yes.
And it's good news. I mean, they didn't see anything in the scan, and now he's just looking to go on a little bit later and see if we can get more news on it. So
let me see if I can find Sunny here. Yeah, he's big shout out and all the love to Sunny. Amazing person. And like you said here, here's the tweet. Let's make this bigger so we can make sure that we read it here. And this is such good news to hear. Is 2 weeks. He's had some high stress over the last 2 weeks that he went to the doctor, and he was hoping for the all clear, free of cancer. And they mentioned that they did see something there. So he comes back, and the PET scan came back clean, which is awesome. No cancer at all, but they are going to monitor it for the next couple of months and see. So, just sending positive vibes and love over to Sunny there. He's such a fantastic guy and has been there right from the beginning, and his content. If you don't know who Sunny is, Sunny Cloud Gaming, check him out. He's fantastic. He has he's well over, what is he at? He's getting ready for 21,000 subscribers on YouTube. So a big shout out to Sunny, and all love to Sunny as well. It's just
good vibes.
Great to hear. Yeah, sending good vibes over to Sunny.
Yeah.
So, all righty. So I think we are going to head into our last portion of the show here. And what we want to talk about here is the importance or the relevance of indie games, not only on Stadia, but let's get rid of this. We don't need to see this anymore, right? Not only on Stadia, but on all different platforms. I think a lot of people in general will discount indie games just because they think that they're, just cheap shareware, not valuable games compared to other, like, kids games or AAA games. And I just wanted to discuss that to share my thoughts, your thoughts as well, and see, get a little discussion going in
Yep.
the chat here.
Yeah, exactly, John. So the discussion is open in the chat. So while we talk, we're going to look at the chat and share the opinions that you guys have also. So feel free
Yeah.
to chat about it, and we're
Yeah.
going to look at it. Yeah.
And I've got a video here that I'd like to play. It was back, I interviewed in the Game Jam. There was a Game Jam earlier this year that was put on, sponsored by Google and Stadia, and they had a bunch of indie game developers. Over the course of a week, put together ideas for a game and whatnot. And one of the winners from that was a Fragment developer, was Jump Button Studio. And one of their games, the game that they come up with is Fragments. That was chosen as one of the winners. And I got to, back in May, interview Michael, one of the programmers at Jump Button Studio. And we talked a little bit about indie games. Now, Michael, he's young. I think he's in his early 20s, and I wanted to share just a 3 or 4 minute segment on indie games and AAA games, and then we'll come back and talk about it, discuss, see Pierre, what you think about it. I'll share my thoughts, and definitely interested to see what people in the chat have to think about it. So let me go ahead and put on here. And this is about an hour into the interview. So I've clipped the segment here. And like I said, it's about 3 to 4 minutes. So we'll get this started. Here's another question here. Let's see. It says, you mentioned that you don't play AAA games anymore. Is there any particular reason for that, or just they don't appeal to you?
I used to be, well, I am like
Yep.
a huge gamer. Like, I play all sorts of them. Like,
Mhm.
my collection is it's, well, I digress. It comes down to the point where, like, for me, like, when I started to make them seriously and treat them as an art form, after I've been playing games since I was 0. So, like, after playing so many, I just really started to feel like the AAA scene did not is not or does not try to push the medium artistically in any way, shape, or form. Like, they push it
Right.
graphically, obviously, because they have the
Mhm.
manpower to do so. But I just
Yep.
feel like they don't really push the medium forward, and as such, I feel like it's just not inspiring to play those games. Like, I feel like for me, the only thing I get from it is like, okay, this is how, like, I look at AAA like, okay, this is a great way to figure out how to organize a bunch of people to make something. Like, they
Right.
definitely have that down for sure.
Mhm.
But I just don't see in most AAA games any, like, desire to push the medium, and that makes sense because, like, the budget is huge. Like, they don't, like, that involves taking risks trying to push the medium, and I doubt they
Right.
want to risk millions of dollars. So I don't blame them for that, but it's for
Mhm.
that reason that I just don't get that much joy from playing it, and also for the fact that, you know because I'm of the position of wanting to push the medium forward, I
Mhm.
find that oftentimes when you play a lot of AAA games, especially, like, with young designers, like, I'm
Mhm.
not saying that, like, I'm not young, but I see this in my
Right.
peers,
Right.
like, they play so many AAA games, and then when it's time to make your own game, what happens is you start to inherently copy the ideas from them, and,
Yeah.
like, it goes very simple, like, okay, where should your UI go? And it's like, oh, I put it there. Well, why? And even if that's a good place, the fact is,
Mhm.
like, when you start to copy it, your game becomes a foreign entity to you. Because remember that, like,
Right.
when the AAA people put add those things to their game because they have certain experience goals that they're trying to hit,
Mhm.
but and them choosing to do something a certain way is not like a wheel like solution. It's not like a one all be all. Like, it comes with trade offs. But I think the perception is because these games sell so much that this must be the way to do it. And I think
Right.
it really underdevelops your problem solving skills. So a lot of time I don't really like to play AAA games because I'm like, okay, I know what I want to do and I
Yep.
have a clear goal of the problem I'm trying to solve. So I don't really need to look at someone else's game to figure out how to do this. I'm gonna find my own solution. And if it mimics someone else's, so be it. But
Yeah.
I'm not really interested. copy and pasting. So I don't play them.
Wow. That's awesome. You know, it makes sense. I mean, when you're obviously when you're developing your game yourself or indie developer, it's that creativity and the originality like you were touching upon there. It just seems like you'll find more indie games willing to be different than the norm, not a cookie cutter, you know, push the envelope, do something different, not be afraid to try. And that's awesome to hear that from you as well. I think a lot of people feel that way as well. As you know, AAA games they're good, but they're not the end all be all, right? You know, just like you said, I've had many experience indie games that are far better than any other AAA game that I've ever played. You know, just for the story, the creativity, the uniqueness itself. And I think a lot more people are starting to realize that and open their eyes to, you know, if a game's labeled as indie, it doesn't mean that it's like freeware or shareware or a lower experience. It can offer as good as or even better than those top AAA games.
Yeah,
So wow,
absolutely.
yeah, that's amazing. All right, so there we go. So that was a little bit of the interview that we did back in May with Jump Button developer Michael there, and shout out to Michael. Thank you for taking that time to talk with us back then earlier this year. So I think I'll just start off here. My feeling on indie games is, and I kind of mentioned it, you could see there in the video as well, is I think that like a lot of people really don't give them the credit that they deserve. If you look at like, I can even think of like off the top of my head, if I could think of like Grime, Young Souls, in particular, like those two games are two fantastic indie games that people might not really even take a look at just because they're indie games themselves. I do like a mix. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't like AAA games, but I think it's important. So I like AAA games, but I think it's important for any platform to have a good mix of games, of AAA, of indie games, of family oriented games, just a wide variety for people to play. And not everybody has the time to sit down and spend, you know, 40 to 50 hours playing a role playing game. They might have 20 to 30 minutes here and there and want to just pick up and play. So for me, I really do think that it's important to have indie games on a platform. We kind of touched on this earlier in the Discord this morning. I think it was like as we mentioned about even like when Nintendo Switch first started out, they relied heavy on indie games as well to help get them through, until games started to flow on there. Same with Xbox Game Pass is a great place to discover indie games that you might not necessarily have bought or purchased or even thunk of playing, but now you are. So it's really that's kind of like my opinion on it. So interesting to hear what you think, Pierre.
Yeah. So it's probably not as long as you because I respect both indie and AAA games. I understand what the developer from Fragment is saying, but I feel like it's not for every game. So he mentioned that AAA games they're getting generic, like they're not bringing anything new to the table and stuff like that. But I think that it depends on the game because if you generalize it like him, he's talking about the sequels and stuff. Like Assassin's Creed, of course, is going to be the same because it's a sequel of a game that already exists. Every game like that, Destiny 2, it's the same as Destiny 1, Far Cry 6. We're getting a lot of AAA games that are sequels because they know they're going to do good because they did good in the past, right? So they're just continuing it business wise. But there are some good AAA games out there that are innovative. Like what I can think of is Last of Us, for example. Last of Us was such an innovative game at the time when it came
Yep.
out, like zombies and
Mhm.
stuff like that. It was crazy.
Mhm.
And even Destiny 1, when it came out, the MMO aspect of a first person shooter, that was new. So I
Mhm.
still think that AAA games bring, something new to the table.
Yep.
It's just the sequels that get messed into that, and or a business that wants to do the same because they want to try to get money out of it. It depends. There are some AAA games still out there, I think, that are pretty good.
Yeah.
And now with indie games, of course, indie games, it's artistic people who does that, right? It's very. I really like indie games because, like you said, I'm probably just going to repeat what you say, but
Mhm.
I like to play a AAA games. I don't know, finish at 40-hour games, but then I just want to relax in between two games, right? And I just want to play something easy, something beautiful, something relaxing, and play
Mhm.
that. Play a few of them maybe, and then go on to another big game. It's I think that indie games is very important in the industry for sure. And it's funny how it just I don't know the word, how it naturally uh, came into the video game industry, because I think one of the first indie game that came out was like Cave Story at the time. It's
Mhm.
been a while. I
Mhm.
think it's the first one I've heard anyway. And then it started jumping in like that. And before that, people didn't really care about indie games, and it was still going very good. So I'm just rambling, but
No, no,
it's
no,
yeah.
no. Yeah, yeah, you make sense, and I see like a lot of people have put up their messages here in the chat. Kaze and the Wild Mask, Binding of
Mm,
Isaac, Falconeer,
yep, yep,
right? That's all
yeah.
great games. Let's see, Limbo, Super Meat Boy,
Oh, some
and
good
I
game.
think yeah, and I think what like Michael touched upon there is there are some developers and studios of AAA games where they don't want to take that risk. They're
Yeah,
they're super huge budget, hundreds of $1 million. They know A, B, and C works. That's what we're going to do. We might have the idea for D, but we're kind of
mhm,
iffy, and we might not make enough money on it. So I completely agree. I think we're like 100% on this one. Is that each AAA, indie, kids games, whatever have you, all have their place and importance and roles. Not
yeah,
one is more important than the other, and it's great to have a nice balance of
yeah.
those different types of games. Like you
A-
said,
And you're right.
some people.
You're right. It's like it's tough for a big company because they want to make the business decision to keep making money, right? So it's tough for them to try something new and give it a try. But once in a while, a big company will be like, let's give this a try. Let's give this little different thing a try and see if it picks
Mhm.
up. And there is
Yeah.
some AAA games that failed. I think the one that I can think of is one made by EA. Oh, man, I can't remember the name, but it's a game about big robots. I think. Oh man, I have it at the tip of my tongue. Uh, I'm gonna have to remember later. But there are some games out there that just doesn't work out as a AAA games. They have to take risk, and it is what it
Yep.
is.
Yeah, PSX Guides here saying Bright Memory Infinite is made by one person, but it looks like AAA. He's saying indie developers could be some of the most talented in the industry. And, I agree with that. And that's not taking away anything from those big budget studios. Those are awesome games. And like we said, we enjoy those too, love those games as well.
Mhm.
But, it's some do get a little repetitive and stale, and generally speaking the indie games will take more risks and get a little bit more creative. And I
Mhm.
find that it's I love the unique art styles in each of the different types of indie games that are out there. The stories too, that's what really brings me in and ties me to a game, is having a great compelling story that
Oh,
makes it memorable, right?
this
That
the
makes it
story makes
memorable for
a
me.
big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, even a game with the same mechanics, if it has a top story, then it can make all the difference.
Mhm.
The game I was talking about, and thank you PSX guys for telling that, it's Anthem. Anthem was the game I was
Yeah,
thinking about.
right.
Them also says Titanfall, which
Yep.
which is very interesting, because Titanfall
Mhm.
didn't do that good on the first game, and they got the guts to make a sequel for it, and
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
crazy. I don't know if they'll continue to see the game, but is Titanfall is Apex from the Titanfall world?
Yep.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
I'm pretty sure it's the same studio.
okay.
I think so. I think so.
So it's
So
so it's a decision that they decide to make, and finally they're pretty successful, which is great.
yeah. Yeah. I want to. Here's another example. Disco Elysium. That's another great indie game. Let me see. Super
Super
hot.
hot.
So
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot. When I think what it is just like with a lot of things, like we mentioned earlier about the news, you think, oh, well, not a lot happened. But when you put it all together and you look at it, wow, quite a few things happen. So when you really start to look at, the indie games and you say, okay, well, we've just named here in the chat probably at least 20 different games
Yeah.
that you're thinking about, and you might not necessarily. Celeste is another good game as well,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Let's see, like, Dark Side Detective. Yeah,
Pixel Junk
those,
Raiders.
yeah, Pixel Junk, like
Yeah.
awesome. Like I don't even know how I didn't mention that before.
Yeah.
Pixel Junk Raiders is awesome.
Yeah.
Like initially, what drew me to Pixel Junk Raiders is definitely the art style, and then
Exactly.
once I got into it, I love playing it. I'm nowhere near as good as
Yeah.
you are on it, but I think that challenge is kind of part of the fun for me on it as well.
And that's the thing. Sometimes you think, so I am a hardcore gamer, right? And sometimes you
Mhm.
think that, indie games, like hardcore gamers, they don't like them,
Mhm.
but it's not
Mhm.
true, because there is some pretty hard games out there. Like you said, Celeste is a hard one.
Mhm.
And then they do have soul-like games also. There's been
Yep.
Chronos that came out. There's Hell Points.
Mhm.
Great games there.
Yeah. So we see here exception here. My wife, a non-gamer in every sense of the word, absolutely crushed Lost Words end to end. And that was
Nice.
okay. Lost Words. What I liked about Lost Words was one, the unique gameplay. You're using these different words as spells or whatnot to make your way through, and the story, like the story of the little girl and the relationship with her grandma and the heartache that she goes through and the emotions. Like again, it's that unique gameplay and story, and the visuals too are different as well. And the I think like one of the biggest differentiators between the indie and AAA games is, of course, the AAA has that multi-million dollar budget to develop and use ultra realistic graphics and high end and stuff like that, and it's cool too, but also do have an appreciation for the artistic style in
Mhm.
indie games as well, because it's just to each their own, really. And I really do think that they both have their place, and it's fantastic to be excited. Wavetale, again, another one is like,
Yeah.
it just go nuts over that. And okay, sure, it's not a 10 out of 10 game. I'll be honest, and I would never ever say that it is, but it is a solid game. And I'm having fun. I'm liking the story. I like the music. I like the gameplay. Every game doesn't have to be those really high end graphics and things like that. A lot of games, and as we've got mentioned here, Risk of Rain I see in there as well. It's another
Yeah.
great game. So it's just like, if you take a look at it, there's so many fantastic indie games, and just I get excited over them as well. And I know like a lot of people do. So
Mhm.
no, I just
And
thought that this would be interesting, for us to talk and see how people think or feel about it.
yeah, and sometimes it's not just about artistic either, because for example, here I see that Papa Bear Gaming says that Darkwood is incredible, and
Yes.
it's not an artistic game, but as long as there's just the one thing that is interesting in the game, it can do
Yeah.
a whole big difference. And Darkwood has some
Yes.
pretty crazy story if you
Yeah,
ask me.
it does. I mean,
Yeah.
it really, if you think about it, Darkwood looks like a Super Nintendo game, like a 16-bit or that type of game, and so for at first thing you're gonna say, oh, 8-bit or 16-bit, it probably it's not really that good, but I streamed over an hour of it, and it brings you in. You get brought into the game, and it's creepy, eerie, spooky, and things like that. Sure, it doesn't look the best, but you've got to you look past. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? So
Mhm.
you get into knowing the game and playing it, and you think, wow, this is pretty cool, and it's like $10 to $15. So I think also too, you have to take that into account when you're looking at games. Like I know for a fact, like when I review games, I look for the intended audience and I look for the value, right?
Mhm.
So I'm looking at the value. If there's a game, let's just say Wavetale, we've heard it takes about 6 hours to complete, right? So if that game is $80 Canadian, I might say, okay, that might be a little short based upon the price, but they've priced it accordingly, so
Mhm.
it's in that $20 to $30 range. You go to the movie theater, you go out to do any type of entertainment, you're looking at paying for like the movie tickets, like $15, whatever, the popcorn, the gas, the parking, all that good stuff, and you're getting what, 1 to 2 hours of entertainment for if you bring yourself, your significant other, if you have a family, you're spending all this money.
Mhm.
Whereas with a game here, let's just say again, we'll go back to Wavetale. Let's say it is $30 and it's 6 hours, right? That's like what, $5 an hour, something like that, right?
Mhm.
For you to enjoy it. And if you look at the value, the price, and what you're getting, it's fantastic. And if you have Stadia Pro, you're paying the $10 to $12 a month for it. You
That's
get
it.
all these great games.
Mhm.
It's great. It's really over. I'm going to be honest here. I would say within the last 5 years, my eyes have really opened to the indie games and the indie market. I really wasn't that open to, it looked fondly upon them, but it was just in this last 5 years that I've given them a chance, given them a try, and just can see how valuable and how like great of an experience that they can be. And so, when a game comes out, I'm really open minded to it. And I say, that looks interesting. I'm willing to give it a try,
Mhm.
and,
It's
and see what it looks like and how it plays and things like that.
It's interesting that you say like the price can make a difference, because I've seen that even with AAA games where you like the reviews were bombed for a game. Like
Mhm,
I'm gonna take Marvel's Avengers
mhm,
as an example,
mhm,
because
mhm.
people thought that it wasn't worth the money, but in the long run, like the price has lowered down, right? And
Yep,
you hear a lot of people who likes the game, and I'm wondering,
yep,
like, is it because now the price that it is right now is worth the money? Maybe someone wouldn't pay $80 for it, but a little bit
right.
less. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And take a look at Rainbow Six Extraction. It was
Hmm,
originally
good
$80
example.
Canadian, right? 59.99, $60 US. They've delayed it, and they've also now reduced the price, so it's half the price of what it was.
Hmm.
So that's now even makes it more enticing, because I mean honestly, if the average Joe Blow or Sally, whoever goes in and are looking at games and stuff like that, price is going to be a factor on it. Am I gonna buy this one for $40 or this one for $80? Well, I'm going to take a look at this $40 one and see, oh, that's not too bad.
Hmm.
And you often see games that come out and then months later go on sale, sometimes even up to half price. The sales increase tenfold.
Hmm.
So I really do think there was one game that came out here. I can't remember it offhand. Square Enix. It was a Japanese. Oh, it was just earlier. Balan Wonderworld. So that came out earlier
Oh,
this year, right? That was
oh
a
yeah,
full price game. I played it, and
yeah.
it was by one of the developers who had from Sega, that had made a lot of Saturn games back in
Nights
the
into
90s.
Dreams, I
Sega
think, on the
Saturn
Saturn.
Nights.
Yeah.
So me loving those games, I played it and I thought Balan Wonderworld, I thought, you know what? It's not bad at all. It really isn't that bad. If you like the 90s style games for what it is and what it tries to be, it's pretty good. But guess
Mhm.
what?
Yeah,
It launched at $80. It launched at $60.
that was too
No way,
much.
Jose. That was I'm not trying to discount and to say that their time wasn't worth money. But what I'm saying is you have to know the audience in order to, and like that's the perfect example. It was way overpriced. Now, if that came out at $39.99 Canadian,
Yeah,
$29.99
or
Canadian, I,
or €5 according to PSS guys here. We just bought
yeah,
for yeah.
yeah, there you go, right? So you picked it up because it was super cheap and it was worth, and that also, so that will also bring us around to the value of like the stuff like Stadia Pro, Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, where you get these games that you might not necessarily buy, but you're giving them a try now because the price is right.
Mhm.
So
Lord Vivek here is saying pricing is hard, and it's interesting because when you're a developer, how do you price a game, right? Like, how do you figure out how much value is your game? Like, how much people
Mhm.
are willing to pay? I don't know how
Yep.
they figured that out. Like, this is never something I've asked myself.
Well, I honestly, I believe I did ask Michael that question in the interview. I can't remember his whole answer, but I think it was something along the lines of like the budget does go into consideration when pricing the game as well. So, that'd be something is if they have a really high budget, then you have to take that into consideration. But it's kind of that old adage of, do you want to sell one game at $80 or do you want to sell five at $40? You
Hmm.
might not make as much with five, but you've got more people out there talking about it and playing it. So you have to, I think it, I don't know the final answer, but I'm just thinking in my mind, you've got a balance of, how much do you think that you're going to sell? And I'm sure they have analysts and all this good stuff that do that. And then you also have to think about too, well, what about the games that go free to play? Like how do they decide that they're going to go free to play after they spent years and years and years and years developing it? But we've
That,
seen with games like Fortnite, right, that they
yeah.
can be super popular and ultra profitable as well. So I think it would be interesting to see maybe if we get a developer on the show here to interview,
Hmm.
maybe that could be one of our questions to see, what they say as far as like pricing and their views on things like this. So it really interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go at like two more messages. What do you think? And then we can go with the raffle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We can go with the raffle here.
I'm just gonna check here. So Cult of Stadia says there's a lot of stuff that can inflate the price of a title. Obviously, IP. That is true. So if
Yes.
you have a popular title, you're obviously going to put it at full price, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's an easier decision. Um,
Yeah, because
games
you've got to
like
pay that licensing fee and things like that. So not to cut you off, sorry.
no,
That
no,
also
no.
brings
Yeah.
no, that also brings to light of the licensing fees. Many moons ago, when I was your age, we used to see a lot of games based on movies, and often they would launch the same time a new movie comes out in the theater, and there's a game that's related to it. Well, you don't see a lot of that, if hardly any anymore, because a lot of companies spent a crap load on the licensing, and then the games bombed. So this
E-
is, so you do have to again take your licensing into consideration there when you're
Mhm.
pricing and developing games.
Yeah, and I can think like games, especially like Cyberpunk and
Hmm.
Out Outright, like the game by Square
Out
Enix, uh,
Outriders. Yep.
Outriders. These
Hmm.
games, when they release it, they know that it's unfinished, right? They know that they have a lot of more work to it, and then they have to put full price on it just because they're considered like AAA games, and then they have to like hope for the best. And
Hmm.
maybe that's not the best way to do. I mean, in a perfect scenario, the best thing would be just to delay it. But
Yeah.
when they're pushed by PR and stuff, it's a tougher decision, and
Yeah.
they lose a lot of money.
Right. Just in the case of Cyberpunk, they were basically told, get the game out. We don't care if it's buggy or
Yeah.
not. Get it out there and we'll fix it after it's out there. And I've actually had a job where I worked with someone like that. And it was way back when, building computers and selling computers at a computer repair store, just a local mom and pop one. And I can remember in particular, there was an issue with someone that wanted a computer. We built it, but there was something wasn't right with it. And then the person's asking about the computer. I paid for it. He said it was going to be ready. And my boss just said, just give it to them and they can take it home and we can worry about fixing it. And so I got sent out to their house to fix it. And they were, quite upset with me.
Oh
And
god.
had to take the brunt of
Yeah.
it there. So yeah, so there's a lot of things, and like I said, hopefully we'll get we will get some developers on the show here, and maybe we can ask one of them that question about pricing. Is like, what factors go into pricing, and also I'm sure probably in the development cycle and things like that as well. It'd be very interesting to find out and hear from someone on that issue.
Yeah, exactly. So let's jump to one last one here.
Okay.
Serena says, true. What about free games with pay to play or paying for premium features like World of Tank? They may have made even more money than charging up front for the game. That's awesome. And, it's crazy because if you take Elder Scrolls Online, for example, uh, the way that they were doing monthly subscription and it didn't work out for them. And then they switched to a one-time fee with premium stuff inside, and it went great. So it depends on what you plan on doing with the game, for sure.
Yeah. Again, it's that old adage of, do you sell one at 80 or do we give it away for free to 100 people who each of those 100 people might spend $3 or $4 each? There's $300 to $400 versus one lump sum of 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then and more than likely is the people, like with Fortnite, they buy the costumes and the weapons and things like that, the battle passes and all that stuff. More often than not, they're going to continue to buy those. Maybe not on a consistent basis, but you'll get the money from them, and over time, it's more than that initial upfront. So,
as long as it's cosmetic, right? Like if it's unlocked with content, then it's they haven't been. I haven't seen any games doing that lately. They've been doing that in the past, but lately they've been doing better.
Yeah. I think a lot of people outraged over that, where you're paying for pay to win type scenarios, or you don't feel like playing the game, and for $5 I can unlock this or get this. Well, so then it gets a disadvantage, but that's a whole nother story here. So pay to win. So what we'll do is we are going to give away Kaze and the Wild Masks on Stadia. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to look at Ye Old Bot, and we've got quite a few people in here. If you do not hear your name called and you want to get in on the raffle for Kaze and the Wild Mask, all you have to do, !raffle, hit enter, and you will be put into the drawing here. So I'm looking at the bot here, and I'm going to go ahead and call out the names here of who we have in the draw. We've got Exception, PyCon Fusion, Amity, The Extremist, Zarena, Miss T22, Geek to Sneak, Javier, PSX Guides, Iwan, Crow, Francisco, Janny, Homie Drew. Okay. Now I know this is Granite T's significant other here, Granite T Rock. I know that she's told me how to pronounce her name before, and I'm going to say it here, but I so apologize if I said it wrong here. It's Rabelica. Rebellica. I know that's probably wrong, but if she's listening, she knows that it's her. Culta Stadia, Lord Vivek, Granite T Rock, Mr. Bayron Blazers, Paul, 1030, Roberto, Death Alive, Papa Bear Gaming, and Mark Exali. So if you did not hear your name there in the chat, or hear me call it out here. Oh, look, there she is. She did mention. Let's see. We're gonna take a look here. Yeah. So let's. So there's some gameplay here of Kaze and the Wild
For hype.
Mass. Yeah, for hype here. So we'll give you another minute or two if you want to join in here and enter the raffle. And take a look. This was Kaze is one of the games on the Summer Community Challenge. Is a championship there was one of the challenges. I played this game. I actually was lucky that when the game was released, the developer allowed me to get it about a week early and stream it as well. So
Wow.
I actually got it early on Xbox, streamed it and beat it, and then got it on Stadia and made a series of videos and beat it. So I've beaten the game twice. I haven't unlocked everything though, but it's a pretty awesome game here. Yeah, fantastic game. It looks great. And it's inspired by the 90s platforming games. They even, on the website there, Donkey Kong Country, Sonic, all those, those classic 90s character action games is what it's based upon. And it can be difficult. There's certain parts of it where you have to have the precision. You're jumping down. And I like all the different masks and stuff in it that give you all the different abilities. It's just a great game. Again, another awesome India game that was a Stadia Makers game as well. So Stadia, Google put some money behind this game, and yeah, it's fantastic. Alrighty, so I think we're going to go ahead and do the drawing here. We'll go ahead and keep the Kaze on here to let the excitement build up. ! Raffle. Remember, I'm going to call out a winner, and you have to respond in the chat. I'll see it right here in the bot. It'll automatically come up once the winner claims their prize. It'll show here that they've said something. So again, if you haven't already, ! Raffle, hit enter. I'm going to go ahead and close the giveaway here, and we're going to give.
Good luck, everyone.
That's right. Good luck. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Rub that 4-leaf clover, whatever you do for luck here. And so here we go. So I've clicked on the bot to close the entries, and we've got our drum roll here, and our winner is Mr. Bayram Plays, Paul. So Paul, if you are listening, you have to claim your prize in the chat. If Paul doesn't claim his prize here within a minute, we're going to choose somebody else. So hopefully, Paul, I know Paul is over in the UK, so they're 5 hours ahead. So that's, there's Paul there. Paul's up nice and early. It's 1:30 plus a.m. Saturday morning. And Paul, you have run Kaze and the Wild Mass. Congratulations, my friend. Hit me up here on Twitter or Discord, and we'll get the copy over to you. So I think that's going to end the second episode of Stadium Connect North. Wow, this is, you know what? We always are anticipating an hour to an hour and a half, but
it never works.
There's so much to share, so much to talk about, and really, to be honest with you, probably we could spend another couple hours here. I want to give a shout out to Maurice. Thank you so much for playing my favorite song and dancing to it, Maurice. Formidable. I love it. It's fantastic.
Well, yeah, I was wondering that actually. So there's a Maurice in Wavetale. I was wondering if you mentioned him.
Yes, yeah. There's Maurice there. Yeah. Maurice is in Wavetale as well. So next week, our next show is going to be Friday, November 19th. That's the second anniversary of Stadia. So we're in the planning stages of a special show there. I can tell you we will have multiple giveaways on the show. So definitely you don't want to miss that one. It's going to be a celebration of Stadia and, taking a look back over the last 2 years, maybe, sharing some things and more info to come. We'll definitely share that info out there, and we may be looking for some to give their comments or thoughts and whatnot. So we'll be in touch with people, and definitely if you're interested in being interviewed, just like we saw Jack, and as we reach out either to NinjaGuy or myself, leave a comment on the video if you want as well. Let us know.
Or else we're
Well,
gonna bring you to us. We're gonna start asking people to get interviews.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like we said, we're interviewing all types of people in the community from all around the world. So never feel you don't have to be a hardcore gamer. You're casual. You just sometimes play it, or if you're again that hardcore or content or whatever. If you play Stadia in any form or way, no matter how frequent or often, we're interested in talking to you. And just like we saw in these last interviews, some like to be on camera, some just like to be audio. So that's perfectly fine. There's no requirement that you have to be
You can even speak to your native language if you want.
Yes.
We encourage that a lot. So if you want to speak to your native
definitely.
language, that'd be even cooler.
Yeah, because it just goes to show you, it's like the Stadia community isn't just North America. It's not just English. It's around the world. It's all different languages, all different cultures, all different personalities, and that's what we like to highlight. Is just celebrate the differences that make the community awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that's going to be it. Wow, I can't believe it, right?
That's all we have, guys. Sorry it didn't last longer. I'm sorry. No, but it's good. Maybe Stadia will have less news next week, but that's the thing. We want to bring all the news that we can, and I think that it's bring us to a very good show. So thank you guys for sticking around.
Yeah, and thank you all for your support. Thank you, Graham, for the $50.
Yes.
Death Alive. Thank you to those two that are in the chat here, talking, liking, sharing the comments, or sharing on social media. Everybody plays an important role, and we just from both of us, Pierre and I, just want to say thank you so much. Such an amazing response and all the love we've gotten, and we're just 2 episodes in, so this is awesome. More great things to come, and thank you all so much, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye. Have a